From the racing elite to the edge of human endurance, the Rolex Sydney Hobart yacht race has always been the tale of two sailors.
Tonight should be quiet and the next day quieter, and then I believe we're going to get a real pasting in Bass Strait. Fresh to frightening, gale force winds.
I always get a bit nervous before a race, because you never know quite what's going to happen when you go outside the heads, especially from Melbourne. Part of the magic of the sea is you just don't know what it's going to do or how it's going to do it, or it can be really kind to you, and you've definitely got to respect it, but it can also just very much put you back in your place and remind you who's boss. If you're not aware of your surroundings and where you are, you can really be put out of place and get yourself into a lot of trouble.
We're out there for a long time, so you have to be prepared mentally and also physically. And it's a bit of a race of endurance.
Yeah, there's one thing's for sure is that there's no certainty right until the very end.
The water's just coming over the decks, and you're just drowning in it. It's just amazing.
I've done a lot of ocean races, I've sailed in other parts of the world, but unless you're on that start line and you've actually experienced the Sydney to Hobart, then you know that it is the Everest of sailing.
We're going to get becalmed, we're going to get a northerly, we're going to get a southerly, we're going to get all. So just the average Hobart.
That's a Rolex Sydney to Hobart. That's just the way it is.
The most competitive fleet ever lined up in this year's 2013 Rolex Sydney Hobart, including 5 100-foot maxis to the 34-footer Will Perina. The Super Maxi Wild Oats 11 returned in an attempt to equal a record 7 wins.
Whoever wants to win that Rolex, they're not going to get it easy, that's for sure, and it's going to be a really, really tricky race, and I think you'll find all the boats will have their moments. And it'll come down to more the guys who do a really good job and it's not their moment, who will be there in the end.
But this year, the new Perpetual Loyal has returned to claim her 2011 victory.
It's a really different boat. I mean, I love that old boat because it actually got us to a victory, and I'll remember that for the rest of my life. This is just a new generation of design of yacht. It's probably made for heavier and harder winds and harder reaching conditions. It's a racing yacht, and we've got to go out there and do well. Well, I think everyone's feeling nervous right now, that's part of it, but in saying that there's an air of excitement down around the team. We've come together well as a team in a short period of time, and we're ready to get out there and get amongst it.
The 95-strong fleet enjoyed a perfect Sydney day for the race start. The big boats immediately headed out to sea, attempting to find the wind and beat the predicted turn in weather. Coming from behind, Wild Oats 11 took the lead from Perpetual Loyal and managed to equal history, taking out their 7th victory.
Yeah, 7 wins, God, who would have thought? I mean, it's just something you don't even dream about, but it's something I don't think about until you actually get here and actually win a race, but I've done it 7 times, which is pretty amazing out of 9 races, so it's something we're all very, very proud of, that's for sure.
Behind them, the race continued. Rough weather and gale force winds confronted the rest of the fleet. The winner of the overall Rolex Sydney Hobart went to the 50-footer Victoire, skippered by the relative newcomer Daryl Hodgkinson.
I feel somewhat humbled actually to have won this event. I suppose one of the reasons that you do a Hobart is that you know you're going to be challenged, and we certainly were, and of course a lot of the other boats are even more challenged.
On yachts large and small, the triumph of competing in the Rolex Sydney Hobart is an accomplishment that can never be taken away. And it is impossible to miss the identity that is created by being part of a crew in this great contest.